Hey guys, Rich Whitell here. I'm with Randy Szeg and Amy Young, and we're going to have a chat today a little bit about this idea of mastery. And so just share, we all work at different companies. Amy and I are at Princeton Mortgage, Randy's at Citizens Bank, and share some things about what Randy's learned. And when I first met him, he really challenged me, not by what he said, by what he did. And particularly, Randy's a $50 to $60 million producer. He won't say that because he doesn't want to brag. But he leaves the office at 4 o'clock every day. So Randy, I guess I'll kick it off by saying thank you. So from when we first met, I now get home at 6:30 instead of 7 o'clock, and I hope that keeps moving down. So I guess just to give people a flavor of it as well, and please correct me. I know Randy doesn't like to talk about himself, but he's doing $50 to $60 million of business a year, referral based, working from 10 to 4 o'clock, deep relationships, and we're going to get to the meaning part of how much you're enjoying your life and what you're doing and your abundance mentality, the mastermind group that you've got. Do you really get home at 4 o'clock?
I do. I try to get home at 3:45 to 4 o'clock. It's really important for me to get home and spend family time. It's very easy to get tied up in that work mentality where you just get tied up with that daily grind. And we are all there. We all fall into that trap. But it's, the most important thing I feel in my life is that I'm there for my family. I'm there for my wife, number one, and then that leads to my children, and we are present for them at all times. I think there's some people out there in the industry that get caught up in the hustle. Hustle is turning into a term that is not as kind as what it used to be.
Yeah.
Hustle, like to my father, meant I worked my ass off and I had grease on my hands every day, and I brought home a paycheck every Friday so I can provide for my family.
So what's hustle mean to you?
Hustle now has morphed into just you gotta grind, and not to beat up any of the social media stars out there, but it's
we can.
almost
maybe they'll retweet us.
Yeah, but it turns into you have to be a predator almost.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't need to be a predator.
You mean, and by that you mean it's this idea that you have to manipulate people.
Or you need to be stronger, or you need to work so much harder, or you need to do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's some jobs that need to be left undone.
Mm-hmm. So let me take you back to the early years a little bit. 2006, 7.
Mm-hmm.
You get going. You're ready to rock and roll. What was how did you start your business? What did that look like? What did year one look like? How much business did you do?
Year one was probably about 25 million.
So you're a rock star in year one.
It was a really hot time too in 2006, 7. So it allowed me to kind of get my foot in the door. We did have the refis coming in. I worked for Commerce Bank at that time. We had a great name, brand recognition. So a lot of people knew who we were.
So you're still cranking along.
I'm still cranking.
Working nights and weekends.
That's right.
Then you had your son in 2009.
Well, I have my son, and I'm in the hospital room after my wife just gave birth and battled like a warrior to give us this beautiful child. And I remember doing a loan application shortly after we just had a child.
In the hospital room?
In the hospital room, which is just to allow work and business to structure how my day was. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
So how did you change that? Where did you even become usually there's an awareness that has to happen. So how did you become aware of there could be a different way of living?
My children. Everybody's got their own motivations. For me, my children and my wife motivate me most. I want them to be proud of me. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my motivating factor.
Do you think they are proud of you?
Yeah, absolutely. You're damn right they are. I'm proud of them too. Sure, I would love to write 75, 80, 90 million. That would be fun. Not. That's too much. I wouldn't. My balance would be through.
Well,
the
we
roof.
require a whole different way of operating. Now you're managing
My
employees.
quality of
and
life would be
Yeah.
not what I need it to be, and right now it's perfect.
Yeah.
I get to be home. I get to be present with my family. I get to be present with my friends.
Yeah.
I'm not a phone junkie.
Yeah.
When we go out to dinner, it's almost become a way of life where everybody's at the dinner table or out to dinner at a restaurant. Everybody's on some type of device. That stuff stays in the car. Because if we don't have an hour to be there with each other over a bottle of wine or, chicken fingers and French fries, then it's an issue. It's an issue, and it's sad. It's so sad.
I would love to hear a little bit of, all right, so here's Randy doing tons of business, couple of kids, making money, but how does that transition start to happen?
Well, I realized that I could work smarter instead of harder, and you hear that phrase a lot, but the reality is you can work a lot smarter. I learned that being more present for my family gave me a smaller window to grind on the computer or go to meetings or meet new referral partners. So the time that I do have for work, because work is secondary, and I'll be the first one to put that on film, and you can show it to my bosses, and I'm fine with that. It's much more calculated. I know what I'm gonna do on a daily basis. I know where I need to be. I find myself a lot more organized. I may roll around in a flannel and jeans, but that's just that's my being. If I do need to put an application in at 10 o'clock at night, you're damn right I'm gonna put it in. But at the same time, I'm not gonna interrupt my time where I'm coaching my son's soccer team from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. I'm not gonna stand there with my phone. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. We've all seen coaches on their phone. I cannot think of a situation where I lost a deal because it took me an hour and a half to get back to somebody.
I was going to ask you, have you ever
cannot.
lost business because of your
Not
mindset?
that I'm aware of, and if I did, then it wasn't meant to be.
Yes, that's what I love. That's what we
That's it.
talk about very often is, if we have people that, that read our values or, as they understand more about us, think, okay, well, maybe that's not the place for me, then we feel like that's actually wonderful for us because they've realized that about themselves, and we've had a person who wasn't a good fit start with us. So it's actually a gift, or it's a reciprocal gift, actually.
It is. Everybody's a winner at that point.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta let a transaction go.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
Yeah, you feel it, I see it, you're like, ah.
Yeah, but you have to let it go. You don't need a tremendous amount of referral partners, you just need the right ones that you build a relationship with. That spending a lot of money on referral partners.
Can't buy love.
Nah, but being present for them, becoming friends, not for the intentions of getting business, but just to build a new friendship or relationship. That's where it starts converting into, hey, this job is fun, you can do it for a long time. I have about 8 to 10 people every morning that I talk to religiously.
So tell me about that.
They are colleagues, they are friends, they are colleagues that are friends. We've built these relationships where we're there for each other.
And so what does that look like? Is that individual calls? Is it
They're individual calls.
You're just
Yep, I'm just cranking on the phone all morning long,
okay.
just to catch up, and it helps put me in a place where I need to be. Like it's.
And these are other industry professionals?
Yes.
And is this also what you've called your mastermind group? Or
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not even mastermind. I mean, I know we like to use that word now, or get our hustle on. I'm not hustling. I'm
Say that you're not hustling.
I'm being me.
So I want people to hear that. This guy's doing 50 to 60 million a year and not hustling.
I'm not hustling.
It's fundamentally so simple.
It is.
Like whatever world vision or philosopher or religion or whatever you want to look at are all saying the same kind of thing. Focus on others more than you focus on yourself. Act with good intentions and try to help other people get where they want to go.
That's it.
That's it. And one of the reasons I really wanted to invite you here is that I get personally frustrated, especially with the social media right now, when I look at our industry and it's all the hustle or techniques or how to manipulate or why we're better or why this channel's better than that channel or this competitor, and it's like, we're in like a $1.5 trillion industry. What
Sure.
really matters is who builds relationships and helps the customer the most. And so
That's
that,
right.
back to our point, we don't compete.
Absolutely not.
There is so many customers out there, and like our biggest problem is, are we doing the best work for our customers?
That's
And
it.
like, that's a really hard thing to do.
What I really like about this situation is we're sitting down as not competitors, but as fellow individuals that are in an industry which can be challenging, and we don't look at each other as competition. We look at each other as, hey, we're in this together. Let's chat. What things are you excelling at? What are you having difficulty with? And it's good to be able to chat with people on the other side of the fence or at another company to see, what is great, what is not so great. And to get where I am now, where I don't have to grind 24 hours a day, it's because I've done what I believe is to be very compassionate to the consumer that's come to me, where they're now referring their friends and family, daughters, sons.
You mean it's not because you've mastered closing techniques?
No, it's simply just being a real person. So, Rich, thank you.
Randy, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.